It's just like, wait, let me get
Wait a second. Let me just
content.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, that's another thing that was kind of affected by COVID. We were supposed to shoot a music video like maybe I take back, it wasn't a month ago. It was maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And a couple of the crew members actually tested positive. So we're like, we just temporarily postponed it. We haven't outright canceled it yet. We're trying to do that soon, I should say as soon as...
Well, we actually technically have our next shoot in March, but it's just a matter of, is that going to be postponed too? But hopefully it won't be.
Mm-hmm. That's the big thing. It's just like, because I mean, granted, it doesn't seem like that long away, but it's long away. It's far enough away that it's like things can change in an instant with everything going on. So
like, somebody
definitely
could get COVID again, or there could be some like a new government restriction or some other, who knows what something else could happen. Like,
yeah.
So
like
that was, sorry,
go ahead.
Was that supposed to be your first music video?
Yeah,
it was. I mean, we've been making these kind of low budget music videos from our house that just kind of scream COVID style.
Tried no budget.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
budget.
Really, no budgets. But this music video is going to be for our song that we just released this last weekend called "Drowning," our newest single at the moment. And we were supposed to release the music video the day after the song was released. Now we're not doing that. But it was going to be like our first actually professionally done video with the crew and director, DOP, and all that stuff.
That would have been super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID was like, hey, guess what? No.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was another day in the life.
Yeah. And I did not expect to get COVID when I got back from my vacation. I went to go visit my family in Texas during the holidays.
Texas.
And I socially distanced. I was making sure that I was safe, and all of a sudden when I just got back, I just got a positive test. And I was like, wait, guys, I'm sorry. I got COVID. I can't make it for the music video shoot. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
You were like, so that's what the headache was all about.
That's why I got a stuffy nose.
That's why I'm not feeling great.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, what was kind of the idea for the video you guys were hoping to do?
So the video... Okay, because the song it's one of the ones that I wrote the lyrics for, and it's an anti-suicide song that is inspired by a friend of mine who, of course, I won't name them out of respect for, but they're still doing good. They're still alive and well today. They know the song's about them. They love the song. They're doing great. And so, yeah, we were going to kind of go for like a music video that communicated that theme of anti-suicide, keep going, reach out if you're hurting. I think we were even going to have like a quote like that at the end of the video, but the story was basically going to be, a couple, one of them played by my really close longtime friend, Saroja, and his current significant other he's seeing. They're actually together in real life. It was going to be a story about the girl. She caved into her dark thoughts and, took her own life, and remains a spirit that haunts the boyfriend who's still alive for the rest of the video, and kind of regrets having done that. It's like sort of like looking down in sort of this, like Sixth Sense-esque way, where it's like she's a spirit, you can't really see her, but she's like there, and she's like watching just like the aftermath of the decision that she made. And we were just kind of hoping that would be kind of a nice, fun, kind of haunting, depressing video for the song that would hopefully also have a good message. And I think it was coming along pretty well. Like, we were storyboarding it and everything, and
we ended up referencing the Decode video or by Paramore.
Oh yeah,
that's like
for that early 2000s
for like
look.
the atmosphere of the video itself. It was going to be pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was going to be like splicing between footage of the couple, the boyfriend is still alive, the girlfriend is dead, and it was going to be like their little quiet narrative story with the band playing the song. It was going to be kind of this cool little early 2000s thing.
Yeah,
2000.
That would have been lit.
2000s, yeah, that was a fun time.
I'm still crossing my fingers. I hope we can shoot it. It's like we have so many ideas, and like all this effort went into it, and then it's like, nah. So
I think
just
it will happen eventually. It's just a matter of like, will it happen in March? That's yet to be seen. But I think we will film it someday.
Yeah, eventually.
And this gives you guys more time to like formulate exactly what you want.
Yeah, exactly. We might come up with new ideas, and we might even start coming up with ideas for the music videos for the other songs too. We're gonna release more singles, so I mean, it's not like a huge deal. I mean, I think we're still doing all we can in the meantime to keep the ball rolling and do promotions, single releases, and all that stuff. But it definitely would have been cool if we could have shot that video, because I think we were all really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we do have a lot of music that we're going to be putting out. I won't say how much, but it's a lot. It's more than really most of your even like bigger groups, especially actually I should say really your bigger groups are going to put out normally in like the same period of time. So it's like a lot of stuff. You have like a lot of stuff that we want to get out.
Yeah.
So you guys are working on an album, I imagine.
Perhaps. Maybe.
Who knows?
We did record quite a lot of songs before the lockdown happened.
Mm-hmm.
In about 8 days, to be precise.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
But we'll leave it at that for now.
Okay, very secret for now. Okay.
Secret.
John, hit them with the next question.
Okay. Let me see. How many times have you guys performed live? How many shows have you guys played?
Clue.
Like,
I mean,
I actually, funny enough, I've actually logged how many times we performed. I just have to go through my notes.
I feel like it's with this current lineup. I feel like it's only been 5 shows. I feel like, because I think we had those 2 shows like right when I joined. Let's see, the House and See Me, the pizza in Long Beach, and then I want to say the next gig was, because I was in like November of 19. Then we had the Whiskey, and I think that was the only gig we had that month, but we are prepping like all month for that show.
We also did Pig and Whistle twice. We did Hong Kong, and we played at another bar at
those were some shows with our old bass player.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you guys had quite a few shows with the original bassist.
I was going to say those might have been the only ones since you joined, because that was kind of at like the tail end before we had to stop playing shows, I think, really. But there was a lot, right, Gage?
You guys pretty much touched on all of them. I mean, the only other ones that we didn't mention right now, maybe AJ can back me up on this with his notes, is I know we played at the Garage twice. That's in Ventura. My buddy Nick, who's in the music scene. Mm-hmm. We did it twice. Did it once at the end of November and once in January.
And we played
the January experience was...
We played something else. We played where I lost my rug and like my snare stand.
I was teching for that. Yeah, no, that was when the original bassist was still there, and then it was like a block party thing, which is really weird because it was in the middle of like the suburbs of Ventura, and we get there and like it's a giant block party and like a bunch of families out there, and the band was playing. So I was like, this is so bizarre.
Yeah, you know what it was? It was my chemistry teacher from high school, Miss Reynosa. She's like so rock and roll. She plays guitar and she's like been in bands like her whole entire life. She's a really huge supporter of like the Ventura music scene. And I had her for chemistry when I was in high school. And she's been like a really big friend of my family for a long time too. My dad actually used to play in a band with her. And she's like, oh my God, Gage got this new band. Like, come to this block party. And there were like a lot of other bands too. It was a good time.
So somebody just took your snare stand, dude? Like,
no, I think I just left it because I'm like,
there was a lot of gear because so it was weird. So where the stage was, if you guys can visualize it, it's like right in front of a garage, and the garage was open, and there were like a few other bands playing there. So they had everybody's stuff was in the garage. So I think it's just in the confusion of trying to hurry up and break down and get off the stage and pack up really fast. I think we just left it.
Yeah, it wasn't me. That's
did you have like more than one, or did you have to get a whole new stand?
Gage actually got it back. I misremembered actually. It was a crash cymbal stand, not a snare stand. But he got it back. We lost my rug though.
Oh, that's right. That's what you didn't get back was the rug.
Rest in peace, rug.
That's an important piece of the drum set though. Like I play drums, so like I understand. Like, you don't want to leave stuff behind.
You'll lose your kick drum real fast without a rug.
I just remembered that we also did the Viper Room.
Yeah, we did the
We
Viper.
did.
I wasn't a part of that. I wasn't a part of the band
Yeah,
yet.
you weren't a
guys
part
did
of that yet, but I remember that gig was such a disaster. I mean,
No.
It was probably the most
That was-
underwhelming.
That
I
was
forgot
a low.
some of my stuff. Gage forgot his pedal board and
Yeah.
forgot his amp. And
We
I
made
was
the
like,
mention-
oh my god!
From what
We
I
made them
remember
mad
hearing,
at
because I don't remember. I don't think I went in tech to that show. I think I was busy with like a school hockey game,
Yeah,
so I was already preoccupied. And from what I remember, I think the guy like freaked out on Josh, our drummer. That's
Yep,
at the time. I think he was barely 19, 18, something like
19
Yeah.
side. Who knows?
that. And they
DJ,
were
you
like,
remember this, right?
yes,
apparently they freaked out on him. I don't know. Like DJ, you want to?
yeah. So I was 21 at the time, and Josh was still underage. And for that place, you could only be 21 or older, just in case anyone from the city was going to check it out. There can't be any underage people. So Josh needed to get in there so that he could see like what he was working with for the stage. So then I would like try to sneak him in there. And the bartender was just after both of us, just saying like, "Hey, you can't be here." And I was like, "Bro, he's a part of the band. He's about to perform. He needs to see like what he's working with." And I tried explaining that to him. He's like, "Nope, you got to get out of here.
He got
Wait.
so mad.
Wait until it's time for you to go up. Then you can come in." And I was like, "Well, dude, then how is he gonna?"
We were bringing in like gear and stuff,
Yeah,
too.
it was so ridiculous.
and I was trying to help, but yeah, you could see it on his face too. It was just like he was just like furious. Like you would have thought we stole his cookies out of the cookie jar or something, and this guy was just, he was just not having it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, also, I remember another probably low of ours was probably the second time we went to the Pig and Whistle in Hollywood. Our first gig ever was at the Pig and Whistle Hollywood, and that was awesome. Like all of our friends
Packed
and family
room.
came, and we packed it.
room.
I mean, they wanted us back because we sold so many tickets, and I thought we played pretty well too for our first show ever. But then we went back sometime early October, and there was like 2 people. I think there was like maybe some people from one of your classes, Josh Columbus, maybe.
They were my residents because
Yeah.
I was the RA for K building for the freshman dorms at my college, and so I invited some of my residents to come out, and they came, and I was thinking like, oh, this will be cool, they would see us play or whatever. But they were the only people who came.
The only people who came. That was such an underwhelming show.
The drums were like twice as loud as they should have been because there's no people in the crowd to like dampen the noise up.
Yeah.
Not to mention the stage was like the tiniest little like rug ever, and we're like, that's the stage. It's the first
Yeah.
time we made.
Oh, we look so uncomfortable in those videos too. Like we look like
Yeah.
sardines. It's just like it's not neat at all. It's a show for acoustic acts, and we had like a full 5-piece rock band up there.
Yeah.
It was
Singer songwriters, not a loud rock band. That's for sure.
Not loud alternative rock bands. Yeah.
Yeah, I was teching for that show, so I was like, oh, I feel so bad for you guys because I was like just there. I was there too teching, and I was like, oh, I feel their pain.
Josh just sits on the side holding his head in his hands.
Yeah.
Well, correction, we originally thought I was gonna be on the side of the stage, and we get there the very first time you guys played there, and they're like, I literally couldn't do anything because the stage was so small. I was like, I literally had to go sit on the crowd.
Yeah.
Cannot work with these conditions.
Seriously.
Oh yeah, it was not good.
It was
There's been a couple
ridiculous.
places after we've like either before I joined or after I joined that we've played and we're like, okay, yeah, we're not playing there again.
Yeah, and like the last show I think that nobody has talked about yet was I think the last one that we played overall before the lockdown.
Was it
The
the
Door,
right?
at the garage?
No, and it was
Oh, we
actually
did
at
do
this
the other door,
place.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the very last
gig.
one. It was this place in Los Angeles called The Other Door, and I thought that was a pretty good gig. I mean, it was kind of
It was,
another
yeah.
space, but it was good.
Yeah, same thing. We were the only band with a bunch of singer-songwriters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still turn
Actually-
heads though. We still turn heads.
Sure.
You know what?
Yeah.
No, dude, we do, because we make awesome music. Anyways,
That's right.
no, our lowest low. I know what our lowest low was. It was the Hong Kong in gig.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Dude.
Dude, it was
Oh
that
my
was just
gosh.
a
That's rough.
disaster. Like
They
the
tried to
show
rip us
itself,
off. Yeah.
the show itself was really good, right?
I don't.
But,
I wasn't there, so what all happened? I still don't know the full story.
Gage or AJ, do you guys want to?
So okay, yeah, the show, like Columbus said, the show was pretty cool. We actually had a 2-hour set that night, and we had a lot of people come to see us, which was really awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, we played like every song we knew at the time, which was kind of a lot. We'd had like a lot of songs considering only been like together for a couple of months. But yeah, after the show was over, the people who ran this place called the Hong Kong Inn, they just like straight up tried to not pay us what the lady who booked the gig promised us in the email. And what's actually really bad is that this is actually the second time it's happened to me personally, and I apparently didn't learn my lesson. I played in another sort of funk soul band with my buddy Nick a while back called Old Soul. We had a gig there that similarly enough went really well. And even back then they tried to not pay us. And it was always some kind of last minute loophole thing that they were like not upfront with. Like in the case of when we played there, I think it was something along the lines of, oh, you only get a certain percentage of what the bar makes, you know? And, But the lady, Gloria, who booked the gig, was not upfront with me about that. She gave me a flat rate. Like, no matter what, it's 150 for all of you. And, like, you know, bring as many people as possible. But she did not say it was, like, a percentage of the bar. And because I guess, like, I think they were still going to pay us, but it was a lot less than what they originally promised us.
I
And
think we each ended up getting like $2 or something.
yeah.
Wow.
Yikes!
$2. Oh my goodness.
And we
We're
had
making
a
it-
person who will remain nameless at the moment, a person who was once with the band and not anymore, who freaked out and tried to lie about him being a lawyer. And then he started crying as soon as the person, like, you know, called him out asking for his paperwork. And he was like, I'm sorry, I lied. And then, like, yeah.
Well, I mean, he could be a lawyer if he lied like that, you know? They're basically liars, right?
They're very convincing.
It was such a bizarre situation because I remember we're wrapping up. I'm like, great, we played a cool gig and everything. And then I see Gage and our other dude over there, and he's
Yeah.
talking to the
crying.
lady.
He's like on the floor. He's like, no. And what was
First I just
hilarious
saw him
too.
talking. At first, I just saw him talking, and I'm like, this is taking way too long. Like, why are we still here? Like, we had some of our friends hanging out afterwards. And then I just hear like this squealing, and I'm like, what is happening? Like,
Squealing.
It's like we had such a good gig. Why is this guy crying?
you would have thought somebody died, man. I was like, oh my
Like,
God.
we had such a good gig, I'm just going to cry.
What was hilarious too is that, like, after he was done crying, I found out that what the bar lady was wanting us to sign was no form of legal document. It was literally just like a statement of like, yes, we are Apparition Coast. We accept this amount. It had nothing to do with his like made up legal background. So he like freaked out and folded for no reason.
Wow. Could have held out 2
It was
more
not
minutes
fun.
and been fine.
I know, yeah. He just had to keep up the act a little bit longer, and you know, we might have gone somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was a shady situation
And the
overall. I don't like to talk
$4.
about like scandals or anything like that, but it's like they straight up were not going to pay us what they promised us in the email. So it started
Yeah.
with them.
And then I think like a few months later, one of Gage's friends, I think Nick, right? He went and he offered us another gig there because he was doing
that pissed me off. Not gonna lie, that
I was like, no, we're not. No way. Come on. I was like, let's not take this, please. Not again.
yeah, that gig.
Not again.
Okay. So, yeah, his Gage's old bandmate Nick. He gave I think it was the first time, it was the second time we played at the garage. So this was in like early January of 2020, and we had like a 2-hour set, and we had a few friends show up, so it was just a fun little gig. But like setting up, I use basically a giant computer unit for like my rig, so to speak. So it converts the audio in a giant computer, and then it reconverts it into like proper audio signals for like a PA system. And the guy's giving me crap like, oh, you need to be using an actual amp. And I'm like, dude, I literally have all the components. I literally just need to plug into like the snake to plug into the PA system. And he's like, oh no, you got to do this and that. And like super controlling
This wasn't the sound guy though, because the sound guy
so I was
actually
like,
loved
you're not
you
even the
for
sound guy. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, it was Nick who thought it'd be a huge issue, and then the sound guy was like, "Oh no, it's really straightforward."
No. I asked the sound guy, I'm
It's-
like, if this can be an issue for this PA system, because sometimes if the PAs aren't like built, aren't like strong enough to be able to hold everything, I can get that. But the guy's like, wait, you have this? Oh shoot, that's easy. Just plug it in and we're good to go. Like, I was like, so why are you giving me crap? You're not even the sound guy.
Yeah, well, that's one of the cool things about Josh's interface that he has for his setup for his bass is that it's just you just basically just plug it in, That's it.
Instead of hauling,
it's not
instead of
hard.
hauling actual amps and like, for example, the stuff that it's like going on inside the box or inside the computer unit, it's basically 2 giant refrigerator bass cabinets. So that one of those alone is like 70, 80 pounds. So
They're called refrigerators for a reason.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I can like store food on the inside and then
Yeah.
open it.
Basically,
And
if I had a
Basically
real
get a
one,
beer.
yeah.
There you go.
Keep the beer in there. Yeah.
We definitely needed one after that Hong Kong gig. That's for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah.
Ale has another question for us.
I do. I was going to say, what was your biggest challenge? I guess other than gig wise, musically, maybe.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say we had any major challenges. I don't think. I just think there were some bumps along the road just as far as maybe finding the right place to record the album and just kind of going about everything the right way. Probably like I touched on earlier too, some, occasional creative differences between the band that I think we were pretty good at reasonably working out. But, okay, I think I know what the biggest challenge was. So back when me and AJ were like basically just Apparition Coast before DJ or Josh or the other Josh, joined at all, he and I worked together in Los Angeles on an EP called Tonight the Moon is Smiling. That was originally supposed to be our debut album, but we just kind of, I don't know, there was a lot of issues with that studio, and we only ended up actually getting about half the songs we planned to record. We ended up making an EP, and we just kind of scrapped it once we started putting out our singles because we were more favorable towards our new sound. But we had this old EP that was very much like this post-punk, indie pop kind of, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of like, it was very indie pop, very post-punk, and it just was nothing like we sound like now at this moment.
No.
And I think definitely sort of realizing that wasn't the best direction for us and that what we got from that particular studio like wasn't what we wanted to be, and then deciding that we wanted to record all new music as a band. I think that was a really huge thing. And we didn't even decide that until around December or so. I actually think it was originally Josh Columbus's idea. And then I was like, you know what? Yeah, like I don't like that old stuff that we did. The people we were working with were really awesome. They were connections of people I made with people I worked with back when I lived in LA for a while. And some of them go to the school that I currently go to right now, but just our engineer, our mixing engineer was just not up to par, I think, with our standards. I just think what his vision for the songs was nothing like what we wanted them to be. He's definitely a lot more of a pop producer and mixer. And I don't know, I think it really just kind of took a bunch of other ears and sort of a slap across the face for us to realize this is not what we want to be. Let's start fresh and really be an alternative rock band like we're truly meant to be. Whereas, like, I don't know, I feel like this EP kind of sounded like Guster or like As Tall as Lions or some like kind of indie emo weird stuff. And we didn't want to be that. So I don't know. I think that was like a pretty big challenge. Other than that, I don't know. Can anybody else think of like anything that was really a huge obstacle for us?
I feel like just working with everything that we're doing right now with like with the whole lockdown and COVID and like everything's shut down. No one's like in person for anything. So I feel like that's been the biggest challenge because like as musicians, we're all writing like music all the time. Having little creative spurts here and there. So, it's like, there's all these ideas we're floating around and we're like, doing our best to try to capture them and then send them in the emails. So then people kind of start building parts off of things. And
It's not the same as getting to meet up in person.
no,
And then actually
something
being
that
able to,
in person could take maybe a couple hours to hash out, like a really rough version of like maybe a brand new song, takes maybe a week or two, because we're having to try to record parts and send them on email. And it's just not time efficient at all.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just been the hardest part, is just working where everyone's separated.
Yeah, I would imagine so, because it works smoother when you guys can be in the same room, and then sometimes people don't have internet, or you don't know how to get into the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also
We're
no
all-
chemistry when
there's
you're
no
all just
chemistry
in your
either.
own separate house. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
know-
mean, like, we're writing a lot of new material right now too. You know, I'm not gonna like say like what it's for, but it's like, you know, I'm like working on like writing some new songs. So is AJ. So is really everybody else in the band. And so like we're putting together stuff and sending it to each other. But usually the way it goes with us is we'll have like a song idea, we'll have a demo, and then when we get together, as everyone else was saying, that chemistry, we'll just like take the song in a completely different direction. And it's like it ends up being like the best direction for the song. And as of now, I don't know how everyone else feels about this, but of all like the demos that I've sent you guys recently, I'm just kind of like, man, I cannot wait to hear what this sounds like when we get together and start playing it as a band. Because I feel like it's going to be a lot different, and we just can't hear that yet.
I was gonna say that like the some of the last rehearsals that we were able to have in like October of 2020 and after that were probably some of the like coolest jam sessions, and we took videos of them, thank goodness. And just like, you know, me and DJ just like going off on some like gnarly guitar lick, and we're all just like jamming. I mean, we totally improvised like more than a couple new songs basically.
Yeah.
And so we just like, it's just a totally different thing. Like when you're all in the room together, and then you just start laying down like a good groove, it's just something magical about it. You know, because you just start having these ideas, and you'll play like what feels right, or you'll be looking for what feels right. And so like AJ or Gage might have like an idea, and they'll like teach DJ, and then we'll all start jamming, and I'll try out some different like drum grooves and see like what works and what doesn't. And we'll just be playing. And then once we get into the groove of things, and you're just playing what feels right, you know, DJ might just like go off with something that's like playing to my drums or whatever, or playing to the rhythm part or whatever. And then it just starts like being ethereal and amazing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say we have a lot of cool material for the future. I was just thinking about this the other day. I mean, after we're finished working on the songs that we're working on now, we have so many just of these jam videos, like Columbus was just saying, of a lot of really cool ideas that I just think could have a lot of potential for like later down the road in our musical output, you know, and it's just going to be a while till we're able to see what those jams look like with a little more thought put in. And I don't know, but it's definitely a lot to look forward to. That's for sure.
Yeah. Like,
Also a different feel when you guys are playing in person and just jamming.
oh,
It's
yeah.
also a totally different feel than just like, okay, I recorded this, listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
See,
exactly.
going off of kind of
It
like
goes back to the chemistry. So
no, you're good. But like going off the idea of like sending stuff back and forth, we've been doing that for probably 6 months now, since midpoint last year, when things started. We were like, oh, we're going on another lockdown. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
love that.
Yeah, loved that, exactly. So I will say though, is like once one of like the demos are basically in like the final state until we all can kind of get back in person, and you really start hearing like really, I guess, basic versions of what the songs can be, it's really magical, because then you can just like, I know for my instance, I can hear parts in my head already. I'm like, oh, I can add this. What is bass going to sound like? What can we do for extra guitar parts? Like so many thoughts are going through my head with some of these demos. One of which is like 10 plus minutes, and it's freaking amazing.
Thank you.
So it's, I still think it's like we're getting some stuff done. But we're looking forward to eventually getting back in person and like
one of the advantages of just having like all these like dozens and dozens of demos for songs that either Gage or AJ have written or that we've kind of made together, is that like it gives us a chance to like really perfect the parts at least. So like I know for me with drums, I'm not completely writing the drums from scratch, but it's pretty much like I'm given like maybe like 10 to 50% of what the drums are. And then like the rest of it, it's like, okay, got to figure out what's really going to work best here. So it gives me time to like figure out, okay, listen to it and then kind of imagine it without my part, like imagine my part muted and listen to the guitars and listen to the bass and then listen to what drums are already there in the demo and then really decide, okay, like what's best for the music, what kinds of different sort of unique things or unique flares can I add to this that really work well with the music to make it more interesting and to really keep things driving and to give it the kind of atmosphere that it should have.
Yeah, and I mean, because I can't speak for AJ, but when I make demos for the songs that I, again, just kind of write the basic shell or outline of, I'm using a MIDI program, which, means like it's digital. And I'm using this plugin called Groove Agent on my DAW, which is Cubase 7.5. And, I'm not a drummer, so I'm not like writing really crazy or elaborate drum stuff. I'm like literally programming drums with the click of a mouse, and I'm making them about as interesting as I possibly can with that in mind, which is not very interesting at all because you can just hear the soullessness in the drums that I program. But I just feel like when I do this, it's just kind of a good roadmap for like, this is kind of generally what I'm going for, but now can you like make it feel like an actual song and then like bring it to life? And, I mean, definitely like, everybody in the Columbus does so much with the drums that I would have never thought of, and everybody in the band does so much with like what they're given to, which I think is a good thing because I mentioned that I'm not a drummer or a bassist. I mean, I do play both like a little bit, but I wouldn't call myself like a skilled musician in either at all. I'm definitely mostly a guitarist and a pianist, so you'll notice in my demos what's usually the most elaborately written out thing is the piano and the guitar, and my bass lines are always super basic. My drums are always just like, like just really basic. But I think everybody else in the band is really good at like fleshing out what their specialty is. And that's what I think like makes us like work so well, is because like we all have like our strengths that we play to. And I think when these strengths come together, we just make a really good souffle.
I like that analogy.
Thank you.
So